Okay guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have blockchain news number 32, and as we can see, the market continues in the red. Now what is going on? Well, we have some insight here on what's going on exactly with Bitcoin and what levels we should be watching. Obviously we do have a global crisis right now taking place, essentially with some of these stocks that have gone down in valuation percentages across the board here on Monday. So we're going to be taking a look at that, and I'm going to be covering that here in this video. We also have plenty of crypto news, pretty exciting stuff, and I'm going to be sharing that with you guys. Right now we have Bitcoin at $9,396, guys, down 2% for the daily. Ethereum 251, XRP 25 cents, Bitcoin Cash 356, Bitcoin SV 262. Bitcoin SV down nearly almost 5% there. Bitcoin Cash almost 4% down. XRP 4% down, and Ethereum almost negative 3.65% down. The entire market is in the red, just like yesterday, right? We have EOS actually up 2.35%. Ethereum Classic is also up, and we have a few of them that are actually in the green. We have DAI, MCO, Qtum, right? EOS is actually at $4.11, pretty good. I'm guessing that is also due based on the harsh pullback they had yesterday. BNB actually down nearly 6%, and Algo just took a beating, down almost negative 18%. So there's definitely some blood on the street, guys. Make sure you are situated with your funds. You know exactly what positions to hold on to, and just be careful out there. You know, you can definitely be on the wrong side of this market and get caught in a downward spiral. So right now, that's what we got going on. Bitcoin just holding on for dear life here at 9,400, but we have some information, some insight on that, and we're going to jump right in, guys, on this one. So first up, let's go ahead and cover that Bitcoin information I have for you guys. I have some charting here, some patterns that were just discovered in regards to a potential bearish trend that can be disrupted if we move about a certain level, but if we remain right under this 9,400, we can move lower. So right now we have a head and shoulders pattern formed up here. Currently, we've seen this neckline support, like I stated, here at that 9,400 level, and we have to push past that. We've been hanging out right under this one for the past few days, and it's okay for that to happen in the market. But the main issue is that as this one becomes a key support level instead of that low that we can come off of. Now, the biggest thing is that if we move above 10,128, that's what's actually going to set us back in that immediate bullish trend that we had. Because remember, guys, we had a pretty aggressive bullish move that was taking place, and now we're just hanging right over that psychological level of right under that psychological level of 10K. So hanging out at around that 9,400 level, as we saw here in Coin360. Unfortunately, that's what we got going on right now. I do not expect for us to break any lower, honestly, and if we do, I think it would just be some misinformation and just FUD news articles. There's a lot of negativity out there. I don't understand why. It seems to be that way whenever the market goes red, and it's hard to dig through and find those quality articles for you guys. But in any case, it's saying here that if we dig deeper, we would stop at 9,000 Bitcoin USD level. So keep an eye on that, the 12-hour charting. To me personally, yeah, I can see how we can look like we're turning bearish, but you know, I remain bullish because of the sentiment. It's just, you know, whatever correction we could hit here, it could be great for swing trader. If you're a swing trader, you definitely care about this kind of stuff. If you're on the long-term hold, guys, you shouldn't really panic. You shouldn't really be worried about anything major, in my opinion. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. That's just how I feel. I feel very bullish. There's a lot of bullish news, right? We have countries getting involved with cryptocurrency. We have some information here on Tim Draper that's going to be pretty interesting for you guys, and just a lot of things going around blockchain and crypto itself. So we have Polkadot to use Chainlink oracles for interoperability network. Polkadot will be the first non-Ethereum blockchain to integrate Chainlink. So the cool thing is that Chainlink provides price feeds for blockchain applications that are normally involved in DeFi or decentralized finance, right? And we've had a fair amount of news here in regards to DeFi, and we've seen how it's just been blowing up in the space. A lot of people trying to get involved, both to take out loans, to take or to be borrowers, right? I mean, to be borrowers or to lend out. And that's where we can see here how useful it is to become an oracle. So Chainlink essentially is pulling prices from different sources from both on and off chain. They try to come to 1% within that true market price of X coin or X cryptocurrency. So right now what we're seeing though is that Polkadot is a network for connecting and launching blockchain applications with its parachain tech, acting as a bridge between different blockchains. So that interoperability concept is being pushed by Polkadot. They've been in the space for since 2016, and they've actually been working hard. They have over 100 developers in their building, and they've been doing pretty good work. So they're looking to collaborate here with Chainlink, and they should be optimizing self-sovereign identity, for example, where they can be reliably depending on off-chain data, for identity-based digital signatures, verifiable claims using that Chainlink Oracle. So that should be pretty cool stuff. Again, a little bit over my head personally, because we are getting into the depths of some of the, more advanced stuff when it comes to blockchain. This whole interoperability network idea seems to be very difficult, right? It's still kind of hard to get different blockchains to communicate together. So I think it's promising. Chainlink has a lot of support. It's been doing great. So let's see where this goes. Next up, we have Justin Sun bought Steemit. Steem moved to limit its power. So right now we know that Steemit is being owned by Justin Sun. We had a change of powers, let's call it that, where the previous owner had a pretty big stake and access to a large pool of funds within Steemit. And so that access to that account was not limited in any way by the code. Essentially, it could be used to vote. It could be used for a series of things. But when the change came from the co-founder Ned Scott that ran Steemit to Justin Sun, the witnesses of Steem, which can also be called, Steem is a delegated proof of stake blockchain, kind of like EOS. So if you understand the concept of DPoS from that, or from Tron's super representative concept, then you kind of understand what a witness might be. I'm sure they have their differences, and I'd have to look into it more, but just for the sake of this conversation, let's argue that they're pretty similar. So right now, what they are saying is that they went ahead and they changed things so that Justin Sun can't just take out those coins and try to control the network in regards to governance, right? So that's where they wanted to intervene, because Steem is pretty afraid right now, right? They don't know what to do, and I would be pretty afraid myself if I was so invested in their blogging site, and this kind of change just took place where Ned Scott just kind of backs out, and gives it away to the highest bidder, which we know can be Justin Sun. He likes to come in and make some statements and get big projects under his belt. He's done it with BitTorrent. He's done it with a couple other places. So right now, Steem in itself it's working. It's going great. Justin Sun wants to organize a summit called Steemit 2.0. It's going to happen on March 6th. He's inviting the top 50 witnesses to take part. And I'm hoping that the witnesses do take place. It has to get to a point where you can't just constantly be afraid, right? And we've talked about the Steem and Steemit situation here for a few days. And I feel like by now, especially with such a big project, we should have had a little bit more clarity rather than just what's going on. Because essentially the witnesses did go and do their job, which was to make sure, that the governance of the network was not manipulated in any negative way, which is good. But, I would have liked to see them also say, hey, maybe we're reaching out to Justin Sun because we need firm clarity now. So that is not the case. Justin Sun was the one that looks like he is setting that up, and it's going to take place on March 6th, which to me is a world of time, right? We know in crypto, one day can be a whole week, and honestly, a week can be a month. So let's see how this plays out, but I'm excited to see more, hear more. I like the way that the witnesses did what they had to do to protect the Steem blockchain within their thought process. And that's one of the perks of having delegated proof of stake. You don't want your blockchain to be controlled in a negative way. So Pat on the back here for the Steem witnesses. Next up, we have U.S. Commerce Department wants to survey firms on cross-border crypto usage. So every 5 years, there's a questionnaire that's put in place by the Bureau of Economic Analysis within the U.S. Commerce, and it's called BE 180. And now they're going to add a single question where firms have to ask to identify, hey, within that 2019 cross-border financial services report, what transactions did you have and were they related to cryptocurrency activity? So that's kind of a big thing, right? We saw that happen for every individual within the US that did their taxes. You had to pretty much disclose if you participated in virtual assets. And pretty much they're going to be doing the same here with the companies. So they want to better provide guidance for companies, and that's why they're collecting this data. And they added this question, but we all know that they just want to know who not only is involved within the individual level, but what firms are also transacting with crypto across the border, which can be a pretty important thing for the US. And at this level, I do understand. China delays development on national cryptocurrency as coronavirus epidemic continues, guys. So China was supposed to meet a deadline here on with 1 month left. They were supposed to be giving more details in regards to their new central bank currency, but it doesn't seem like they're going to reach that, even though they have so many resources and a lot of personnel and people just working in the Bank of China. The DCEP project may not meet that initial expectation, but they do still plan to produce this product here by the end of 2020. It's unfortunate, guys, what we've seen with coronavirus, right? It's just affecting so many things, and not only just crypto. I know this channel is focused on crypto and blockchain, but it is affecting stocks. It is affecting other businesses, guys. It's not just us. So in other industries, people are being affected by a great level. Next up, we have short Bitcoin ETP launches on Germany's second largest exchange. So this is actually available in the SIX Swiss exchange in Zurich, and it's denominated in USD, but now it's moved over to the Börse Stuttgart exchange, which is the second largest in Germany. So pretty cool stuff. Basically, the way it works is when Bitcoin price declines, this ETP is going to increase accordingly, and it'll take out that daily management fee. It's going to be 1-to-1 with the digital assets. It's going to be fully hedged, but just another financial item for people to get involved and be able to make or lose on Bitcoin's price movements. And right now we also see that the Bitcoin space, right, and the financial instruments that are coming out are pretty exciting, are pretty fun. These are new things and new ways to go ahead and hedge on the future of Bitcoin's price. Next up, we have the global market meltdown reestablishes the case for cryptocurrency as global macro hedge. So here we're going to touch a little bit upon what I was saying, guys, that the entire rest of the market, with stocks and stuff like that, they're getting affected. So the Dow Jones currently over 1,000 points in a loss for almost 3.56% on Monday. The S&P 500 index closed 111 points down, losing 3.35%. Oh my, guys. In the stock world, how many years is lost in gains when something like that happens? Only 3.35%, right? So I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of individual civilians that are involved in these retirement funds are going to feel the pain, unfortunately. The NASDAQ went down by nearly 3.71%, and oil prices tumbled down 4.1%, and U.S. crude futures down 4%. So they got hammered. It just sucks. We have a huge issue here with the coronavirus. A lot of people are being affected. Companies, like we just mentioned, stock valuations are also thought to be overvalued, not only for the past weeks, but also for a few months. And I would argue that that's the case, right? We see some of these tech companies and, Tesla just booms. And trust me, I'm a full-fledged believer in Tesla. But I think it gets to a point where you have to be careful. You have to look at, hey, how parabolic has this really been and what's coming up, right? But of course, For example, Elon Musk is always delivering. So Tesla might not be a bad buy by any means. They got a bunch of products coming out. But looking at companies like Apple that might be a little bit more overvalued, or maybe Microsoft, you might want to be careful here. What's their next big thing, right? Apple hasn't really said anything too flashy in regards to a major new product. Same with Microsoft. We've seen some 2-in-1s with laptops and stuff, but nothing too major. And same I could honestly say for Facebook. There's no way in heck that I would be touching that stock. Even with, you could lend me money to touch that stock. I wouldn't touch that. There's no way. I have zero trust in Facebook's future, honestly. I don't care how long they're actually in the space, or even if Libra does get some hype around the world, I wouldn't even be proud of making gains off of Facebook, honestly. But in any case, that's just my personal opinion. You can tell how much, how much irritation I have against Facebook, because of the privacy issues that they had and so many other things. And that's why I am such a big supporter of crypto and the crypto technology, the blockchain technology that underlines Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, right? So many interesting things. We have fixed supply within these coins, as opposed to the banks and the current market, traditional markets that we know. So reeling it a little bit back in here, guys, just want to keep you posted on that information. Right now, cryptocurrency might just be the best macro hedge. And of course, even if this wasn't anything too exciting to look at, remember, Bitcoin was the best investment of the previous decade. That doesn't change. Billionaire investor Tim Draper quit stocks for Bitcoin 6 months ago. Holy crap. So Tim Draper is not holding a single stock apparently in his portfolio. He's been out of the stock market for 6 months, and a lot of his portfolio is actually in Bitcoin. He holds Tezos, which actually doubled in price at since the beginning of the year, so that's pretty good. But what he said was the market gets too excited. Uber drivers were doing day trading. All the signs were there. So I don't know why Uber drivers would just kind of be his ultimate sign, but hey, who knows, right? Tim Draper is a billionaire, and it's not just by luck. I'm sure he knows. So it seems like if you see Uber drivers day trading stocks, guys, it might be a sign to pull out. No, but in all seriousness, Tim Draper is now holding most of his portfolio within Bitcoin. Next up, we have Bank of Canada prepares her digital currency in case one is needed. So the bigger highlight here, guys, is that we know that Shopify is a Canadian-based digital commerce platform, and they just joined with Facebook's Libra Association, and that's probably why we got this information here. The Bank of Canada did mention that they would design one if it was provided that it would benefit cash or their digital currency and e-shops and all that good stuff. But they do want to state that they will be remaining within their current cash society, right? They're not jumping into any digital currency. They don't have any plans for it as of right now. And they wanted to reassure Canadians that the cash will remain the financial product or financial instrument of Canada. Next up, we have South Korean Tax Policy Association proposes 2-step tax on cryptos. Biggest thing here was just simply letting you guys know that they're planning to impose a 20% tax on income from crypto transactions. So that's kind of the bigger thing here. They're obviously reiterating that laws in regards to tax infrastructure for cryptos are not in place. We've all been waiting for them, and just that same dead horse that has been beaten a few times. And a big article here for the day, guys. Bitcoin traders in Lebanon embracing volatile BTC amid country's worst economic downturn in decades. I think of Bitcoin and being from the US, we do deal with inflation, right? No current fiat currency is capable of not inflating, right? Because the central banks continue to pump new fiat into the space. So, but the unfortunate thing is that here in Lebanon, just like other countries, they are starting to see a huge, shocking change in their value of the income that they're bringing in, because if their fiat currency gets hit, right, and it inflates in price, or it doesn't work like Bitcoin. It's not a deflationary currency. So people are saying here nothing can prepare you for the shock of this when your foreign currency is deposited. You can't do anything with it, right? So you try to work out and withdraw another foreign currency, but you're being controlled. There's hyperinflation taking place and all these things, and you're just locked in. You have no options. So what they're actually doing here is that they're exchanging Bitcoin in a face-to-face kind of transaction. So at first it started pretty slow, but now it's pretty exponential. People are meeting at places like a Starbucks and they're getting physical money for Bitcoin. And that is just so eye-opening to me, a constant reminder of why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm hedging against the entire market with the cryptocurrency space, because it's just absolutely insane how every single country just gets hit slowly but surely. And I don't think of my country being any better, because you just never know. You never know what can happen with fiat. So keep that in mind, guys. Lebanon is going through it. There's pretty high demand right now for Bitcoin in their place because of how Bitcoin just seems to be the better hedge right now within the world's macro finance. So hopefully things work out for the better here. In any case, guys, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click the like button, sub to the channel for more blockchain news updates. I'm keeping these coming to you Monday through Friday. Leave a comment down below so we can keep the conversation going, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one.